Hi, my name is Radoslav and welcome to my scientific training exercise series. In this series I'm going to be discussing scientific principles on diet and exercise so that you can better improve your performance in your sport, or should you choose to apply these principles in weight loss or muscle gain or strength gain, that's your choice. I'm only here to help and provide you with good quality information. We're going to be talking about reps, sets, and rests and why you should care about which one you choose. Should you do 3 sets of 8? 5 sets of 10, 6 sets of 2. I'm going to explain to you the science behind choosing how to do your reps and sets. I'm going to be going over 3 different rep schemes, and they correlate to 3 different energy systems. I will be discussing energy systems in a future video, and we're going to keep things basic and simple and straightforward so that you can take this information and start applying it to your workouts right away. You'll need to consider intensity versus duration when you're choosing your rep schemes. A high intensity means a lower duration. A lower intensity means a higher duration. So what that means is if you're sprinting as hard as you can, that's high intensity, you're not going to be able to do that for a long time. So low duration, high intensity. Whereas if you're just jogging, that's a high duration, low intensity. Very important to understand this concept. The first rep scheme we're going to talk about is less than 6 reps. And that means that you're doing a strength protocol. It means you're working on your nervous system. You will have high intensity but low duration. Low reps works on the nervous system by improving your coordination as well as your ability to recruit muscle fiber. Let's imagine that my bicep has 100 units of muscle fiber, and as someone who's not trained, my nervous system will only recruit approximately, let's say, 40 of those 100 units. So I'm only recruiting 40% of my muscle, and let's say that it's sending the signal every second to recruit those 40 muscles. So every second I'm recruiting 40 units of muscle out of the 100 units. When you train your strength specifically, you're going to increase your coordination of muscles, so the ability for all your muscles to work together to generate force, but you're also going to increase your ability to recruit muscle fibers. So as you train, you're going to be recruiting 50, then 60, then 70 motor units. And I'm simplifying this concept so everyone can understand. And the rate at which you recruit those muscles is going to occur faster. So instead of 40 units per second, you could be hitting 60 units per 0.7 seconds. So you're generating more force. That's what training in 6 or less reps will do. It's not going to cause too much muscle damage, so you're not going to feel a lot of soreness. You can take this sub 6 rep scheme and break it down a little further. 6 is kind of the maximal range that you're going to hit for strength, but you can do 1 rep maxes, say 1 rep or 2 reps. That's more for professional athletes, people who've had experience with weightlifting for a few years. It's a lot more risky and dangerous to try and do 1 rep max, so let's say 100% of what you could lift. It's better to stay in the range of 5 to 6 reps while you're a beginner or even an intermediate. As you build up skill in the movement, let's say a deadlift, and you want to try your 1 rep max, then it's okay. As I said before, we'll be talking about energy schemes in future videos, but you need to understand that when you're doing strength repetitions, you need to recover for 3 to 5 minutes. This allows your phosphocreatine stores to recover enough so that you can produce maximal force again. You don't want to train strength while you're tired. Training strength requires that you can produce maximal force, and producing maximal force requires the least amount of fatigue. So take 3 to 5 minute rests in between sets when doing strength. Now, as I introduce the second scheme, which is 8 to 12 reps, you might wonder why we're not talking about 7. And then when I introduce the last one, we'll skip a few reps as well. This is because everyone's individual and there isn't a definite answer of, yes, if you do exactly 6 reps, you're working strength. Once you hit that 7th rep, you're no longer working strength. It doesn't work like that. The lines are slightly blurred, so keep that in mind. All right, so this second rep scheme, 8 to 12 reps, will work on hypertrophy, also known as muscle growth. With this rep scheme, you're looking to tire out your muscles so that you can barely do 1 more rep. So let's say you hit the 8th rep and maybe you've got 1 more left for the 9th and you decide to end the set there. That's perfectly fine. What you don't want to do is pick a weight that, this relates to intensity. So with the strength, you're kind of lifting at a very high intensity, 90% of your 1 rep max. So let's say you can lift 100 pounds, you're lifting anywhere from 80 to 90 pounds. So that's your strength range for 1 to 6 reps. With your hypertrophy of 8 to 12, you want to hit around 70-75% of your 1 rep max. So if you can lift 100 pounds, choose a weight that's about 70 to 75 pounds. If you don't know your 1 rep max, that's okay. You can just pick up your weights and try and see how many reps you can do in between 8 and 12. If you hit 12 reps, then you know this weight is too easy. Switch up, add an extra 5 pounds, add an extra 10 pounds, try again. Then you're probably going to restart at 8 reps. The 9th rep is going to be really hard. That's a good weight for you if you want to build up muscle size. Rest time is critical for muscle hypertrophy. You don't want to wait too long, anywhere between 60 and 90 seconds, 90 seconds being maximal. You want to make sure that your lactic acid is building up, that muscle is burning and hurting. That is a sign of muscles tearing, and then when muscles tear, as you sleep, as you go throughout the day, they're going to rebuild and become bigger. If your goal is muscle mass, putting on some size, stick with the 8 to 12 rep range. The third rep scheme I'm going to talk about is 15 plus. So that means anywhere from 15 to however many reps you want to do. This typically works on the endurance of a muscle. So if you're a long distance runner or a cyclist and you want to work on your quads and hamstrings so that they last for a long period of time, you would use a load that's somewhere near 50 or 60% of your max. And basically this load doesn't cause you to reach muscular fatigue. You can keep going and going and going under this load. I don't really recommend this rep scheme being used by most people. There are certain conditions that it can be used, but you're better off sticking with the strength or hypertrophy range. The 15 plus range is really useful for rehab. If you have an injury, if you have sore muscles, it can help you recover those muscles. And it's my preferred method for developing connective tissue strength in the joints. You might see this in gyms a lot where a woman or even a man will just pick up a weight and it's really light and they just keep doing the curls over and over and over without anything really happening. They won't see a change in their body long term or short term. This is why I don't advise you using a 15 plus rep range. You're better off using a 6 or 8 to 12 rep range, as this will stimulate your body to grow and burn fat much better. If you're a beginner with working out, I recommend sticking with the 8 to 12 rep zone. Try not to go towards the strength zone or the endurance zone. The strength zone could lead to more injuries if you don't have the connective tissue density. And the endurance zone, you won't see as much of the results that you're looking for with regards to either fat burning or muscle gaining. So I do recommend sticking with the hypertrophy 8 to 12 zone. Even if you're a woman, you won't be putting on much mass. Women don't have the genetics to put on mass, but the 8 to 12 rep zone will definitely help you burn fat as a woman or as a man. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. Give me a like, hit the subscribe button, and for the next video, I'm going to be talking about those 3 energy systems that are important in your deciding factors of whether you want to do strength, hypertrophy, or endurance. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next one.